be all the way honest with you. I cannot stand this lame excuse, right? To me, it's an excuse to cheat. When men say, I can't just be with one woman for the rest of my life. And they're talking about sexually now. Listen, I believe that's a choice. When you can't be with just one woman, that I understand polygamy, I understand it's biblical, I get it. But what I'm saying is, when you have committed to one woman and you guys have not agreed to a polygamy relationship, I'm gonna tell you this, to step outside of that confines, it's a choice.
Let you know, man, you are really encouraging me, motivating me, inspiring me. God is really using you to help me out.
Family, you guys are so amazing. It's your boy, Mr. AOS Inspires and AOS the podcast. I had to pause real fast to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Urban Pulse Podcast. They post everything black. I mean, everything black, right? They post the drama, they post inspiration, they post motivation, everything black that you can get your talk on, if you will. Urban Pulse Podcast, they post about it. We're sponsored by Urban Pulse Podcast, the true essence of everything black. I love them guys to life. Family, you guys are so amazing. It's your boy, Mr. AOS Inspires. This is AOS the podcast. I am your host. So listen, you already know our mission is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you get to the next level. I'm talking about today men that use the lame excuse, I can't be with just one woman for the rest of my life. I can't. Right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, just 5 minutes of motivation. I ain't got that much time, but I really wanted to sketch this conversation out because there's so many men that I have conversation with. It's like, listen, bro, I can't just be with one woman. I got an appetite. So this is what I like to share with people before you get, especially men, before you get into a committed relationship, right? I need you to discover you and become the healed you. Because if you get into a relationship, this is all that you're doing. You get into a relationship, you know that you can't be faithful. All you're doing is setting the woman up for failure. Right? You're damaging a person that's possibly healed already because you're being immature and you're like, listen, I can't just stay with one woman. I asked somebody this recently. I was like, yo, I understand that you and your lady, y'all have, infidelity in your relationship. Could you see yourself never cheating again? My man was like, I don't know. I can't really answer that. And it's crazy because I look at this. It's not that you have a crazy appetite or you have a crazy addiction. I believe it comes into the character flaw. Why do I say this comes into the character flaw? Because most men that cheat on their women, they say, hey, it's just, I don't know. I just can't stay with one woman. But soon as their wife or their woman does the same thing, that they do the same actions, they ready to go ham. Right. So I truly believe that this part of a relationship, when you step outside and say, I deal with one woman for the rest of my life, and it's crazy, I'm gonna break something down with that as well. I believe that's a character defect, period. It's not that you just have this crazy burning appetite that you just can't be with one woman. No, you're choosing to. And it's crazy because the reason that you choose to is because you see in another woman what you don't see in your own woman, right? Think about this. Have you ever had a vehicle that you really, really loved that was fully loaded? Then you saw a car that wasn't fully loaded, that didn't have all the bells and whistles. Are you going to sell your car, get rid of your car just to get this car? No, especially when you can afford it and it's your car that you really, really love and it has all the bells. If you had an S550, are you going to trade an S550 in and you can afford the maintenance? You can afford everything about it, because I know how y'all be. You can afford everything about it. Are you going to trade it in for a C-Class? No, you're not. I want that S5 Matter of fact, give me the Maybach too, right? So it's the same thing with a woman. It's crazy because that's why I did the episode, you got to pick right. So many of y'all are picking wrong, and then you get into a relationship. Statistics says this. It says that men will stay in a relationship, a woman will call it quits. Meaning, I'm talking about divorce, right? I'm talking about married couples. The man will stay in a relationship, will not leave, and just stay, and just try to make it work. Going through hell, but just trying to make it work. The woman is the one that'll file for divorce. They said, I think it says 70% of men just stay in relationships. That they're not happy, they're unhappy, they want to get out, but they'll just make it, they'll just stay and just figure it out. But this is what and the biggest part to that is a lot of men step out of relationships or step out of their relationship because they see something in another woman that they don't see in their own woman. This is what I like to tell people. I told you this last week. The grass only grows on the side that you water. That's the biggest part that I want y'all to take home today. The grass only grows on the side that you water, right? So you have a woman and she's not all that you want her to be. This is one of the reasons why it's a good idea to wait to have sex till you get married. Some people don't agree. Some people do agree. The reason I take that stance is because not just because from a biblical standpoint or from a religious standpoint, but I'm talking about from this standpoint. If you wait until you get married, there's nothing that you can compare it to. You can't be like, oh, shawty don't hit it like old girl do. She don't do this like old. No, you have nothing to compare it to. So I believe that you should wait till you get married to have sex, but that's for a different episode. However, fellas, I'm telling you this now. When you have something rare, you don't want to dip and dive to something else. You don't, right? Saying I don't know how best to explain that. I truly believe that if you're a dude and you're like, listen, I cannot be with just one woman. I gotta have other women. That's a character defect. There's a character flaw. There's a character defect in you. Right. And I believe stepping out is a choice. It's not like, I just couldn't help myself. Yeah, you could. You control everything about you. I'm out of time. Love you guys to life. You can be with one woman. You got to make it a choice. It got to be in your heart to do. What's going on, family? I want to say thank you for rocking with us during this episode. We have been so excited to drop this episode. I'm glad that you made it to the end. This is what I want you to do. If you have any takeaways from this episode, leave it in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear how you feel. I want to bring content to you that's relevant to you, that'll help you change your life, because you already know our mission here at AOS Inspires, AOS the podcast, is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you live life at the next level. This is what I need you to do. I need you to like, subscribe, share this episode. If it spoke to your life, share this episode with somebody. Why? Because you are connected to some people that we're not connected with. And with that connection together, we can empower the world to never give up. I'm Mr. AOS Inspires. This is AOS the podcast. I can't wait to see you next week. Just in case you didn't know, we drop every single week, 3 times a week. Mondays, 8 a.m., Wednesdays, 8 a.m., and Fridays, 8 a.m. You need to catch an episode. Matter of fact, catch all 3 episodes. It's going to be fire. I promise you it's going to help you doing your everyday life. It's going to help you get to the next level. Let's go.